social worker or in the mental health/social services field, you're feeling burnt out and just disconnected with the work that initially brought you passion? Let's talk some more. Hi lovely, welcome back to my channel, or how I like to call it, welcome to this space of growth. This is your Law of Attraction Mindset Coach, Bree, and on this channel you can find everything on Law of Attraction, manifesting, self-development tips, and energy work. And I appreciate you so much being here today because it shows your self-commitment to making different choices and shifting your mindset so you can live an authentic and aligned life. And also, if you feel called to, at the end of this video, share it with a loved one, someone else who can resonate with this content. Because when you're growing and thriving, your energy just radiates and the ones around you are going to want to do the same. So in other words, we're all growing and thriving as a collective. So how amazing is that? By simply sharing the tools that are working for you. And before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so every single week when I upload a new video, you will be the first to know. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I am a Law of Attraction Mindset Coach. But before I became a coach, I was a social worker where I practiced individual, group therapy, and family therapy, which was a field that I absolutely loved, and I knew it was my calling, as I've always known that my sole purpose is to help others. But as my spiritual journey deepens, there are certain things that I know now as a coach that I wish I would have known while I was a social worker. So I felt called to create this video and share 4 tips for my social workers out there to keep in mind throughout your career. As you're getting your degree in social work, you're learning about tons of different theories about how society is structured, human rights, and human behavior. There's just so much information that your brain is consuming, and everything that you're learning is very structured. For example, you doing this is going to get you such outcome, which is also the desired outcome and the right way of practicing as a social worker, to also meet all the ethical checkpoints. But through this structured way of learning, our mindset also becomes very structured, where we focus more on checking off these checkpoints that we're taught rather than listening to our intuition, the gut feeling that we get about what is the right way to practice, where we are still meeting all the ethical requirements that we are taught while also taking care of ourselves and being true to who we are as individuals. That we then move away from any type of spiritual or holistic way of thinking and practicing. So if you haven't done so already, pause this video and go grab yourself a notebook, because throughout the 4 tips that I will be providing, we will be doing some reflections together. So take advantage of this opportunity to look within. Tip number 1, when I was getting my degree in social work, there was so much talk about self-care, focusing on yourself, taking care of yourself so you don't burn out. And my main takeaway from that was to take a day off when I needed and to pamper myself. But what I've learned since then is that self-care is so much more than just the maintenance of your appearance and getting a good night's rest. So the first question I want you to reflect on is that, what does self-care look like to you? And get a little deep into it by further reflecting on these next points. The point of self-care is to take care of yourself in a way that continues to create balance and harmony in your life, that is going to help you feel at peace, at ease on a daily basis, not just when you get a good night's sleep, not just when you get your nails done or your hair, but on a daily basis, that you feel in control of your emotions and your mindset, and also how your work may be influencing you. So think about what practices you can start using on a day-to-day basis that is going to create this balance in your life. We don't learn about the laws of the universe while obtaining our degree and how it can apply to our field. So don't forget that you are an energetic being. You are an extension of the universe. So after a heavy session where you're left feeling depleted, know that that was an energetic exchange between yourself and your client, where you ended up subconsciously matching your energy to theirs. That's why you feel that heaviness that they left you with. And it wasn't intentional, but it was because you weren't protecting your energy. So think about, how can you protect your energy? Do you need to create clear and solid boundaries for yourself? Or in social settings, removing yourself from certain conversations that may remind you of a difficult session? Or by being mindful of the content that you're watching on social media? So think about protecting your energy by you being in tune with who you are, what you stand for, what are your values, and what's important to you. And also feel free to use these reflective questions during your supervision, asking your colleagues how they view self-care. What are some of the practices that they use aside from the typical and traditional ones that you think of when it comes to self-care? And kind of brainstorm and have fun with it on how these self-care practices can create more alignment in your life. Tip number 2 is that you want to make a top 3 list. So what does that mean? A top 3 list is that you pick 3 inner work practices that help maintain that alignment throughout your day, especially when something goes wrong, when something unexpected happens, or when you feel triggered by a conversation with your client, your supervisor, or your colleagues. Here is an example of some practices that you can embody, but be creative and think about certain practices that you would like to use. You want to keep in mind that these practices aren't too time consuming and is something that you can do anywhere, even if you're on your commute back home or to your client's house, whether you're on the bus or the train. If you're able to put on some headphones to remain distraction free, then there you go, you're all set. Or simply use one of your top 3 practices as a way to give yourself a break throughout the day. Maybe nothing is going wrong, maybe nothing unexpected happened, and maybe you're not triggered, but maybe also to prevent how you have been maybe negatively reacting with using one of these practices to start your workday or when transitioning from one task to another. Tip number 3 is that you want to remember your why. Why are you a social worker? Why are you in this social service mental health field? And most importantly, why did you decide that you felt called to help others? Answering these questions will help remind you of your why and will reignite your passion for what you do, keep you engaged with the work, with your clients, with your colleagues, with any type of collaboration that you are making, excited and present. Tip number 4 is that you want to start shifting your beliefs. Throughout my degree and my internship practices, being self-aware and being mindful of how my sessions were going, of what I was saying to my clients, about how their comments were potentially triggering me, influencing me, or affecting me was so important. And it was something that I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed being self-aware and catching these moments of when I felt my mindset and my energy just shift. But as much as I enjoyed these moments where I felt like I was growing and I was learning, I also wish that I realized that I should be also focusing on shifting the belief. So let's try it right now. Think about a time where something went wrong with your client. The session didn't go as planned, something unexpected happened, and you weren't sure how to handle it. Maybe a collaboration that you had set up went wrong, and in the end, you didn't get the event that you wanted that is going to serve your agency and clients. How were you speaking to yourself in this moment? What was going through your mind? How were you feeling? Write it into your journal. And if you feel comfortable doing so, let me know in the comments below. What are some of the beliefs you were saying? I know I used to say to myself, I suck. Like, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe this happened. I'm never going to be a good therapist. And it feels good to be self-aware and to acknowledge these beliefs. But then what? You're just left with the belief. And yes, it's important to embrace your heavy emotions, to acknowledge them, to accept them, to welcome them, because they are energy as well. And by doing so, you allow them to flow and to move rather than becoming stagnant in your body, where you just hold on to it and then you feel the physical tension in your body. But it's also nice to take some type of aligned action step. So when you think about these prior moments that went wrong for you, that you felt like it went wrong for you, what is something different you can say to yourself instead? For example, I have done the best that I could. Or my personal favorite that I even use to this day is that all that I have done today is enough. And it is what I was meant to do. So create an upgraded belief where you are using natural language, which is language that you commonly use on a day-to-day, however it is that you speak. Something uplifting and positive that really resonates with you, that when you say it, you're just like, yes, I feel it, I believe it. Because that is the most important thing, for you not to just say it to say it. You want to say it and actually resonate with what you're saying. So think of it as you also creating a little personal mantra for yourself, or an affirmation that you can always repeat that can be one of the practices that you use in your top 3 list. So I hope you enjoyed these top 3 tips that I wish I would have known when I was a social worker. And let me know in the comments below which tip resonated with you the most. And I would love to know where you went to school and who you are currently serving with your degree. I went to Fordham University, go Rams. Through my degree, I am serving you. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your view, and I appreciate your self-commitment once again to your growth. And until the next video, live abundantly with love and gratitude. Let's spread the knowledge learned today and share this video.